Janal. Hamner. Humphrey. Joshi. Kagan. Kaiser. Klingenschmidt. Kraft-Tharp. Landgraf. Lawrence. Lebsock. Lee. Lontine. Lundeen. McCann. Melton. Sorry. Mitch Bush. Moreno. Navarro. Neville. Nordberg. Pabon. Pedersen. Primavera. Representative Primavera, there we go. Priola. Rankin. Ransom. Rosenthal. Rupe.
Well, not necessarily.
Representative Foote is present. Ryden. Sane. Representative Sane.
She's right there.
Salazar. Sias. Singer. Tate. Thurlow. Tyler. Van Winkle. Vigil. Willett. Williams. Representative Williams.
Representative Williams excused.
Wilson. Windholes. Winter. Representative Winter. Young. Madam Speaker.
Here.
Yeah. So Williams is right there.
With 65 present, a quorum is present. Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the reading of the Journal of Friday, March 20th be dispensed with and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
Members, I want to make sure you heard the motion that the journal be adopted as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. No. Motion clearly passes. Announcements and introductions. Representative, Mr. Assistant Majority Leader Moreno and Representative Landgraf.
Do we need to move this down for you?
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I could only wish that my hair actually looked this good on a daily basis. But we hope you are enjoying the handcrafted doll found in your chair today. The dolls were made by children across Colorado. In many cases, the dolls were created by children in our own districts. Doll Day is sponsored by the Colorado Children's Campaign, which is celebrating its 30th year as a trusted nonpartisan source of data and expertise on Colorado's children. Doll Day also marks the release of the Children's Campaign's annual Kids Count in Colorado. You should each have one of these on your desk. Not that anybody's listening.
Representative Landgraf, could you, wait just a minute, please. Could we have order on the floor here?
It's
Side
Doll
conversations
Day,
outside.
people. This is
Please.
important.
This is important.
It provides us all with vital data and information on the status of children in our state. Kids Count offers both statewide and county-specific data on how kids are faring, so you should read that about your own county.
Representative Moreno.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, please take your dolls, display them in your offices or share them on social media. If you need help tweeting, I can help you with that. You can utilize the hashtag KidsCount to show your support for Doll Day. They stand as a reminder for us to continue making children a priority as we engage in important policy decisions. We also invite you to show your support for Colorado kids by attending the press conference today at 10 a.m. To release the Kids Count Colorado report. It will be in the South Foyer of the Capitol, and speakers include Governor Hickenlooper and Colorado Children's Campaign President and CEO Chris Watney. Doll Day is a long-standing tradition at the Capitol, and we want to thank the kids around the state for making these beautiful dolls for us. And thanks to the Children's Campaign and its statewide network of advocates for making this event possible. Let's give them a round of applause for making today possible. Thank you.
Further announcements and introductions. Are there further announcements and Representative Ryden?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the State Veterans and Military Affairs Committee and anyone else who's interested in the bills today, we will be laying over House Bill 1065. We will not be hearing House Bill 1065. Thank you.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Okay, if you thought Doll Day was important, this one is really going to get you. Thursday, March 26th, Preparing Students for Career Success. It is the Workforce Development Caucus, and we will be looking at skill gaps. How do we fill them? From noon to 1:15 in room 356, and somebody is providing lunch. If you want to RSVP to the email on your flyer, everybody should have this flyer on their desk. This has been a very productive caucus. I'd suggest everybody be there.
Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And remember, tomorrow morning at 7:15 down in room 109 is Capitol Commission. There's always a nice breakfast down there, and if you guys can make it, we'd sure like to see you down there.
Further announcements and introductions. Seeing none, members, please take your seats. The next order of business is third reading, final passage. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1147.
House Bill 1147 by Representative Janal Senator Todd concerning the regulation of genetic counselors in connection with making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1147 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1147 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 39 ayes, 26 noes, and no excused, House Bill 1147 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1215.
House Bill 1215 by Representative Priola, also Senator Johnston, concerning in-state tuition classification for dependents of active duty military members who have attended school in Colorado.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1215 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1215 on third reading and final passage. See no discussion. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 60 ayes, 5 noes, and no excused, House Bill 1215 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1239.
House Bill 1239 by Representatives McCann and Lontine, all Senator Stedman, concerning exception of the prohibition against paying post-employment compensation for the Denver Health and Hospital Authority.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1239 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1239 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 40 ayes, 25 noes, and 0 excused, House Bill 1239 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1259.
House Bill 1259 by Representatives Esgar and Danielson, also Senator Merrifield, concerning the use of rain barrels to collect precipitation from a residential rooftop for non-potable outdoor uses.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1259 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1259 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 45 ayes and 20 noes and no excused, House Bill 1259 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 171.
Senate Bill 171 by Senator Hill, also Representative Moreno, concerning the continuation of the Private Occupational Education Act of 1981 in connection with implementing the recommendations of the 2014 Sunset Review by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 171 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 171 on third reading and final passage. Discussion. Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And during second readings, I asked the question about if there shouldn't be a reduction in the, in finance or in appropriations, because we are not regulating barbers and cosmetologists. I was just wondering, and Representative mi primo Moreno was going to find that out for me. I just wondered if he had gotten any information on that.
Mr. Assistant Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Brown, thank you for following up. My understanding is what we're doing is really a cleanup in the statute for the Private Occupational Schools Act, and so really it's current practice already, and that's why there is no staff reduction.
Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 171? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Tate. Close the machine. With 52 ayes, 13 noes, and no excuse, Senate Bill 171 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1255.
House Bill 1255 by Representatives Dorr and Pabon, all Senators Grantham and John, concerning the enforcement of the prohibited use of electronic benefits transfer cards at certain locations.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1255 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1255 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 63 ayes, 2 noes, and 0 excused, House Bill 1255 is passed. You probably can co-sponsor a bill even if you vote no. That might be one of your reliefs in all of this. Just remember to vote right the first time, members. Co-sponsors, again. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 105.
Senate Bill 105 by Senator Martinez-Humenic, also representing Primavera, concerning the continuation of the regulation of respiratory therapists by the Director of Division of Professions and Occupations of the Department of Regulatory Agencies in connection with implementing the recommendations of the Department and sunset review of a report of the profession.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 105 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 105 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 39 ayes, 26 noes, and 0 excused, Senate Bill 105 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1218.
House Bill 1218 by Representative Fields, all Senator Johnston, concerning requiring certain disclosures about defense-initiated victim outreach specialists.
The question Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1218 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of House Bill 1218 on third reading and final passage. See no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 ayes, no noes, and 0 excused, House Bill 1218 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1218. Oh, we did that one. Senate Bill. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 5.
Senate Bill 5 by Senator Cook, also Representative Foote, concerning medical testing in certain first-degree assault cases.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 5 on third reading and final passage.
The question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 5 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 ayes, no noes, and no excuse, Senate Bill 5 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 99.
Senate Bill 99 by Senator Cook, also Representative Lawrence, concerning eliminating certain duties for probation officers.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 99 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 99 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 ayes, no noes, and 0 excused, Senate Bill 99 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 126.
Senate Bill 126 by Senators Cook and Johnston, also Representative Foote, concerning medical tests for victims of crimes of assault.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of Senate Bill 126 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of Senate Bill 126 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 64 ayes, 1 no, and 0 excused, Senate Bill 126 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. We will take about a 2-minute recess and see if the Senate resolution comes over, and then we'll decide what we'll do next, if not. The House will come back to order. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for the immediate consideration of Senate amendments to House bills.
The motion is to proceed out of order for immediate consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. Is there any objection? Seeing none, we will proceed in that fashion. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1067. And would you wait just a minute, Mr. Kohler?
I will.
Could I have everyone's attention, please? Please proceed, Mr. Kohler.
House Bill 1067, Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Landgraf. Also Senator Newell, concerning the establishment of a continuing professional development program for licensed psychologists.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House concur with the amendments brought on by the lower body to 1067.
Representative Kraft Tharp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Representative Landgraf, for making that motion, unfortunately. So the Senate did two things. One is they allowed completion of the continuing education credits online, which is really good, especially for people in rural communities. The second is they allowed, so everybody has to take an ethics course that are certified by different sources, and that the credits from that ethics course would count towards the professional development requirements. So given that, I renew Representative Landgraf's motion to concur with Senate amendments with House Bill 1067.
Is there further discussion on concurrence? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representatives Quorum, McCann, and Navarro. Close the machine with 47 ayes and 18 noes and 0 excused. The motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1067 as amended.
The motion is for repassage of House Bill 1067 as amended. See no discussion. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine with 37 ayes, 28 noes, and 0 excused. House Bill 1067 is repassed as amended. Co-sponsors. Go to what? Second reading. Well, no, I think we shouldn't, because then you'd have to interrupt to do this. So we'll just wait a little. I think it's almost over. So. Close the machine. We will have a brief recess. I believe that the Senate resolution is almost here. The House will come back to order. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has adopted and transmits herewith Senate Joint Resolution 19.
Introduction of resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution 19 by Senators Todd and Lambert, also Representatives Rosenthal and Nordberg, concerning the designation of March 23, 2015 as Colorado Aerospace Day.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to suspend the rules for the immediate consideration of SJR 19.
The motion is for immediate consideration of SJR 19 to suspend the rules. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. Representative That motion passes, and Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move Senate Joint Resolution 15-19 and ask, because of its length, for it not to be read at length.
Good job.
Please proceed. Representative Rosenthal or Representative Norberg? Representative
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. Members, this is a great and honorable event that we have annually. As you may have noticed, besides the fact that there are model rockets on each of your desks, when you entered the building today, there was a tremendous display of tables from various organizations and companies and universities and nonprofits and individuals who are visiting us here at the Capitol and who are basically saying, look, you know, this is an important industry in our state. We are the largest recipient of money for aerospace and defense in the country per capita. And so this is the sort of thing that we as the Colorado House of Representatives should be celebrating in order to promote this industry. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Norberg.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. It's an honor to sponsor this resolution with Representative Rosenthal today. To honor an industry which really cannot be understated in its importance to our state and which benefits every corner of our state. In my community of Colorado Springs, we're fortunate to not only have a number of aerospace and defense-related businesses, but are also home to some of our nation's most important military missions. Everything from early warning detection at Peterson Air Force Base to satellite controls and GPS operations at Schriever Air Force Base. The aerospace industry and defense industry in Colorado are truly intertwined and play a big role in each of our daily lives, whether we know it or not. So that's what today's about, to bring attention to this issue, to this industry, and for all of us to spend some time with some of the industry leaders that are here. So as Representative Rosenthal mentioned, we have exhibitors around the Capitol. Please take a moment of your time to visit with them and hear about the importance of this industry. Thank you.
Representative Reisen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I too am very pleased to welcome all of our aerospace and defense companies and organizations here today. As you know, House District 36 is the home of Buckley Air Force Base, and we have we're the home of the early missile detection and so many other things that they don't even tell us about, and so I don't have to worry about telling you about, but it's really important. And I just can't say enough about how much we appreciate them being here and serving as a magnet for all these other aerospace companies to come, and especially our small business sector. And members, also just as a reminder about PTAC, if you have any small businesses in your districts who are wanting to do business with the government, please have them call PTAC, PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. They're there to help. So thank you so much.
Representative Casey Becker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of this and want to speak on behalf of the University of Colorado Boulder, which is one of the top aerospace programs in the country. It's the #1 NASA-funded public university in the U.S. with over a dozen aerospace-related academic units and a top 10 graduate program in aerospace engineering. It also has LASP, the Laboratory for Atmospheric and Space Physics, as the only research institute in the world to send missions to all 8 planets and Pluto. And Woo! Go Pluto! It's also the originator of the MAVEN Mars mission. And with a legacy of 18 astronauts and with millions of dollars in world-class aerospace-related research annually, resulting in new scientific discoveries and technologies, and with a variety of related programs on campus that support the aerospace industry, the business of aerospace, space science and research, the application of aerospace technology, and research to solving earthbound challenges. So obviously a big part of our state, and so I rise in support of this resolution.
Members, I know there's some distractions and everything, but please try to pay attention to those speaking. This is a resolution we're considering. Representative Fields.
Thank you, Madam Speakers. And members, I want you to know that Colorado, we are very proud to have several large companies like Boeing that's here, Lockheed Martin, also United Launch Alliances. They have over 500 aerospace companies that are here in the state of Colorado. They're both small, they're both large, and they bring great synergy to our state. So I'd like to welcome them and let them know how much we appreciate them.
Is there further discussion on SJR 19? Representative Kaiser.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I wanted to let you know, members, we just had a whole bunch of people from the aerospace and defense industry that came in, and they're now sitting over here on the side benches. So when you do get a chance, please go over and introduce yourself and say hello. I think you'll be surprised at how many of them are in all different parts of our state, how many live in, how many aerospace and defense employees probably live in your districts. For example, in my district, I've got 4,500 employees just for Lockheed Martin alone. So this is a critical portion of our economy in Colorado. And really, I rise in support of this resolution because we don't just need Aerospace Day. Really, Aerospace and Defense Day is something that we should be living year-round in Colorado. So I urge an aye vote. Thanks.
And members, just so you know, we will recess after we take a vote on this resolution so that you can make any kinds of introductions that you have. I expect there are some. Representative Singer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to speak in support of this resolution for a couple reasons. You know, when I first came to Colorado, it was because my dad got a job working first for the Air Force and then coming to Colorado working for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And without the aerospace industry and without the defense industry and its strength, I wouldn't be here today, which I know that some of my friends across the aisle might be happy about. But it really has brought me here to Colorado. And so with that, I just want to say two things, really. One is, you know, Digital Globe that's in my district, its satellite imagery actually saved human lives during fire and flood. Their satellite imagery was able to map where it was happening, where it wasn't happening, and make sure that people could get to safety and communicate with people. Secondly, and Joe Rice brings this up every year, Neil deGrasse Tyson has a video that talks about NASA funding. If you were to take a look at the cost of the government bailout, and moving away from the politics of the American Recovery Act, but looking at and TARP, but if you look at the cost of the government bailout, and you look at the entire budget of NASA since its inception, the numbers are almost equal. So how much would you pay for the universe? What is it worth for you to dream and to do better and to move forward in a way that actually provides kids with hope for a better generation, a safer environment, and a better economy? And so it's something I know I'm a little wistful about, but it really does save human lives. And what would you pay for the universe? Thank you, and please vote for Senate Joint Resolution 19.
Representative Lee.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm proud to recognize the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, my local university, which is advancing both as a regional and a national leader in aerospace and engineering. UCCS accomplished faculty boast backgrounds in advanced propulsion design, rarefied gas dynamics, microfluidics, and they hold patents in such fields as micropropulsion and microignition of propellants. Ladies and gentlemen, these are rocket scientists. UCCS students are privileged to conduct innovative research as they master their studies alongside Colorado Springs' myriad aerospace and engineering institutions, including the top 5 American defense contractors, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, and General Dynamics. UCCS's aerospace program has established a many-year winning streak at the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronomics Region 5 competition through the brilliance of the faculty and the gumption of its student bodies. So I commend UCCS and their aerospace program for propelling our state forward with ingenuity and imagination. I stand in support of this resolution. Thank you.
Representative Klingenschmidt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I just want to say, first of all, I still think of Pluto as a planet for whatever reason. I see one of the members over here are dressed as an astronaut. And when I was 4 years old, I wanted to be an astronaut. And so, of course, my father, I want to respect his contributions. As an aerospace engineer, my father, Carl Klingenschmidt, worked on all of the Apollo missions, building the electronic circuits. And when I wanted to go to college, I looked for a degree that had astronautical engineering. That's one of the reasons I went to the Air Force Academy. And then, of course, after all the calculus classes, I changed my major to political science. So I did serve in the military with United States Space Command, with Air Force Space Command. I want to recognize the contributions of our military community, but also all of the members of the civilian defense industry and all the people who contribute to our many space missions. I rise in support of this resolution in honor of their contributions, and I urge a yes vote.
Representative Winholtz.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would like to remind everybody about Spaceport, Colorado, a unique and remote site with high potential development opportunities. Spaceport, Colorado is strategically close to Denver International Airport and the state's highly skilled aerospace workforce. Spaceport, Colorado is a broad-based statewide economic development initiative and a physical facility at Front Range Airport that will sustain and accelerate Colorado's world-class aerospace industry. I urge you a yes vote on this resolution. Thank you.
Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I rise in strong support of this resolution. You know, it was one of our great presidents, one of my heroes, who challenged us to send a person to the moon. And as one of our great senators from Minnesota said, Al Franken said, and to bring him back. And I think, you know, on Aerospace Day, there's a lot of talk about the aerospace industry and about the good it does for our economy. And I think it fundamentally is the pipeline that many young students in school think about as they're growing up and wanting to explore and discover new things. You know, there's often times that I've been told that if there was an opportunity to send me to outer space, that would be taken up upon, and there are a few in this chamber who we'd also like to probably put on that mission as well. There's a few hands being raised. But on a serious note, you know, this is an industry that we recognize, again, as someone said earlier, not just today, but every day, because it's the science and technology that gave us so much of what we use and what we have in our everyday life that we take for granted many times. And it also taps into the entrepreneurial spirit of who we are as Coloradans and who we are as Americans. And because the space program has changed so fundamentally in the last few years, there'll be less opportunities to talk about serving as an astronaut and talking about the space shuttle, as many of us did growing up. But let's not forget that those images and those stories were what inspired many of us to get an education and to participate in whether it's engineering or science or any number of science, technology, engineering, or math backgrounds. And so we want to hold on to that as a beacon of hope for all of us here in this chamber and for all of Colorado. Rise in strong support.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of this resolution. I was honored as part of my service in the Air Force to spend a number of years at Air Force Space Command and worked extensively with Boeing and Lockheed Martin with our bases at Cape Canaveral and Vandenberg Air Force Base on space launch, our bases at Schriever and Buckley with their critical space missions that defend our country, and certainly the folks at NORAD that are really so essential in utilizing all of our space assets in protecting our country in these challenging times. Would also be remiss if I did not recognize the premier space organization for the United States, the Space Foundation located in Colorado Springs. This unique group of space experts, many with heritage, a lifetime of service in the space industry, put on the Space Symposium, a premier event with many international visitors in April. I am honored to have them as part of my district, and so urge your support of this important resolution.
Is there further discussion on SJR 19? Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I too rise in support for Senate Joint Resolution 19. We've been talking about space exploration. We've been talking about a lot of the atmospheric issues, but I just want to bring to your attention that protecting critical systems right here on our Earth is one of the other areas that the Atmospheric and Space Technology Research Associates do. And we need to be aware of the impacts on our own communication systems, navigation, surveillance, power grids, and pipelines. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention, and I am in support of this resolution. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? Representative Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I can't let this day go by without thanking our aerospace representatives for being here and giving a little bit of shout out to I spent 30 years in the aerospace industry and came to Colorado Springs in the early 80s with a company that was Ford Aerospace. The Ford Motor Company at one time was a major player in aerospace and sold to their division to Lockheed. So now the Lockheed division down there in Colorado Springs is sort of where I got my start as an executive and aerospace engineer and software guy. So thank you so much for being here, and I rise in support of the resolution.
Further discussion for Resolution SJR 19. Seeing none, is there any objection to taking a voice vote? Seeing none, all those in favor of SJR 19, please say aye. Opposed, no. SJR 19 is adopted. Representative Norberg.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the current roll call be added as co-sponsors to SJR 19.
The motion is that the current roll call be listed as co-sponsors for SJR 19. Is there any objection? Seeing none, so ordered. Representative Rosenthal. Yes, we will take now a brief recess so that we can do introductions from the well. Please proceed, Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As Representative Carver said, this is not just an aerospace industry, it is aerospace and defense. And it is really a lot of interchange and overlap between the aerospace and defense. And so that's why, for example, we have our Aerospace and Defense Caucus here in the legislature. So given that, we have a number of folks who are of both industries and together here today, as well as nonprofits and universities. So first I'd like to introduce some folks from the leadership of the Colorado Space Business Roundtable. And let's try to hold our applause to the end, if that's okay. Frank Backus, Chair, Edgar Johansson, President, and if you'd like to stand, that would be great, and stay standing. Stacy DeFore, past CSBR Chair and current Chair of Citizens for Space Exploration. Christy Lee, CSBR Events Chair, and formerly with Ledge Council. We also have leadership of the Colorado Space Coalition, Major General retired Andy Love, Co-Chair, Mr. Tom Marsh, co-chair, Vicki Lee, aviation and aerospace manager, as well as Major General retired Jay Lindell, Colorado's aerospace and defense industry champion. I want that title, champion. Colorado's Office of Economic Development and International Trade. And then Representative Brown, do you have an introduction for Durango?
Shall we give these folks a round of applause before they sit down? Welcome, and Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And we have with us this morning the Durango Aerospace Design Team and their coach, and I'd like for you guys to stand up if you would, please, there. And just let me tell you just a little bit about these folks, and I'm really, really proud of them. They won first in the world last year in the International Space Settlement Design Competition at Kennedy Space Center in Florida. And I want to introduce them individually. We have Cord Arnold, Ben Wilbur, Shayla Wood, and Mallory Bird. And their team teacher and coach there is Daniel Garner. Let's give them a big hand. Thanks.
That is a remarkable accomplishment. Congratulations. Representative Norberg.
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, we just have a few more members of the key aerospace business organizations that we need to recognize. So if you could hold your applause till the end, but would ask those participating on the side to stand up when called on. We have Art Magler with NASA here today. Art, please stand up if you're here. Chris Chavez with the United Launch Alliance. Tom Denny with Ball Aerospace. Rachel Hakeem with Sierra Nevada Corporation, Andy Greenshaw with High Impact Creative, John Burtness with Metropolitan State University of Denver, Bob Schlew with Boeing, Kevin Hogan, the Aurora Chamber of Commerce, former State Representative Joe Rice, and also as well as with Lockheed Martin, Alex Sweetman with Metro State University Students for Space Exploration, Andy Merritt, Chief Defense Industry Officer for the Colorado Springs Business Alliance. And last but not least, we have Nicole Ella, who, if you can see her back there in her astronaut suit, from the University of Colorado. Nicole, I hope you're getting some extra credit, but please, everybody, acknowledge everybody. Thank you.
Are there further? Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I really appreciate everybody's time today, and to all our guests for first enduring the Senate and now gracing us with your presence. So there is a closing announcement. Everyone is invited to join the Aerospace Day activities, as a reminder, on the first floor throughout the day, and there will be a lunch there at noon. There's also going to be a group photo on the stairs in the rotunda at 2:45, which you're all welcome to attend and be in the photo. There's also going to be a discussion featuring Lieutenant Governor Garcia, and legislators are invited to that at 3 p.m. in Senate Conference Room 356. And to top it all off, there will be a closing reception from 4 to 6 p.m. Katie Mullins on 16th Street Mall. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Rosenthal. Seeing no further announcements, the House will come back to order. We will proceed now with the remainder of the agenda, which is second reading general orders of the bills. I know some would like to visit with folks, and we welcome you all here. Since we want to get something done on second reading, we'll go ahead and proceed with that. And if you can visit with folks on the side quietly, that would be much appreciated. So, Representative Casey Becker. You have heard the motion. If there are no objections, Representative Casey Becker will take the chair.
Will come to order. Oh, I didn't even hear that.
It would be gone by now if you hadn't picked it.
You're not being... The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, bills will be read by title unless there's a request for reading a bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they're printed in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader, and the coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 151284.
House Bill 1284 by Representatives Winter and Rupe, all Senators Grantham and Hodge, concerning measures to enhance program efficiency for shared photovoltaic energy generation facilities.
Representative Winter and Rupe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1284 and the Transportation and Energy Committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. During the discussion in Transportation and Energy, there was a great deal of debate. And at the end of the debate, we've changed the bill to simply be about contiguous counties, regardless of the size and population.
Representative Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I move Amendment L006 to the Transportation Committee report.
The amendment is properly before us. Please proceed.
Thank you. And members, all this amendment is dealing with the counties of 20,000 or more and saying that in these projects that the owner of the project has to disclose and pay the market costs for the project and disclose that to the subscribers. And I would ask for an aye vote on the amendment.
Representative Lundeen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise to speak in support of this amendment. This is a conversation about sustainability, but sustainability goes beyond solar photovoltaics. Sustainability is something we see in marketplaces. If you develop an item, if you develop a service, if you develop a product that in fact clears the market, that means enough people are interested in it to buy it, you have something that is sustainable. Well, it's important when we have our conversations around sustainable energy that in fact we make sure that those things we are doing to disrupt the market, to disrupt and create a transference into things that are in fact theoretically more sustainable, that they are truly sustainable. that they in fact clear a marketplace, that they acknowledge all the expenses, the costs associated with providing that alternative pathway. This amendment, in fact, if passed, would help this bill move towards a truly sustainable approach. Thank you.
Representative Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, first of all, let's start with the perspective of you're talking free market. This is not about a free market. We don't have a free market in investor-owned utilities. Xcel and Black Hills do not operate in a free market. They operate as a regulated utility. And we make deals around regulated utilities. They get a certain territory, they get a certain rate of return. And in that valuation, we get the benefit of service to everybody. So let's put that aside. This is not a free market issue. If you want to look at a marketplace, you're going to look at the fact the market is absolutely demanding the ability to put in these solar gardens. That's what's going on. Employment is jumping up in these areas, and they need space because folks in Denver who can't put a solar on their roof, folks in Denver whose house is facing the wrong direction, folks in Denver who don't have the money to put up a whole issue on their rooftop can go out and purchase a few panels to get what they need, to get what they want. Now, have you noticed something about Denver? Land prices are pretty high, and they're pretty constrained in a lot of different areas. Jefferson County has got this available, or you might pick whatever counties you want. You might be able to pick Larimer County and the county next door to that. Sorry, my geography is a little slow when I'm here. But the marketplace is demanding more solar gardens available. That's why they're coming here. We had a 6 megawatt cap. We're moving that cap to 30 megawatts because the demand is there. People want this. That's a very simple change. Now, if you're looking at adding all these costs, who's going to determine that? The solar garden providers can say it costs $1.95, and the energy companies can cost, it says, 10 times that or 100 times that. So guess what's going to happen? Somebody's going to have to mediate that. It's going to go in front of the PUC, and it's going to complicate matters substantially to do that. So this is not a good amendment. It's not a good idea. It's throttling entrepreneurs who are finding a tremendous market. It's cutting back entrepreneurs by putting this in here and making it a lot harder for them to make money. Vote no on this amendment, please.
Representative Rupe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, I'm rising against this amendment. It's not a friendly amendment. And the reason is because people who are solar garden businesses are paying all the expenses. There is nothing free about this. They're paying for the connection fees. They're paying to build their resources. And it's a local government issue as much as anything else. Let's go one step further. When we look at these kinds of language being codified into a statute, we are now limiting the ability of those folks to negotiate a reasonable contract and fee. And being a free market person, we don't put that kind of language into contracts. So I urge a no vote on this amendment.
Representative Becker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And members, as we're talking about this, all the points that were up here were great points. But what we're looking at is them paying their actual cost to get these programs on. Are these systems on, these community solar gardens? If you put them on rooftops, we understand that process. But this changes. We're not putting them on rooftops, we're putting them elsewhere. And we're also doing multiples as we go along. They should be responsible for the actual costs of doing that so that it's not on the backs of other ratepayers in order to put this power on. That's all we're asking. I don't think that that's an unreasonable ask inside of here as we build these facilities, which are power-producing facilities that should pay their way just as any other would. I'd ask for an aye vote.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I urge a no vote on this amendment. We have been working with great pains to make sure that the power the PUC currently has was not changed. And it's the PUC that sets caps on these solar gardens. It's the PUC that decides how many there are. We believe that these decisions about paying into the system is best left to the PUC and not into individual private contracts. I urge a no vote.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of L006 to the committee report. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. No. The amendment fails. Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill is very simple in what it does. Sorry.
Representative Winter.
Thank you. Back to the Transportation and Energy Committee report.
Please proceed.
As Representative Rupe said, in the committee, we amended everything out of the bill except for contiguous counties in order to make sure that we are taking care of concerns from those providing energy, but we are still providing an opportunity for more people to buy solar from solar gardens.
Are there any objections? Seeing none. Oops. On the committee report? Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The committee report passes. To the bill. Representative Rupe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, in our district in Colorado Springs, we have several of these community solar gardens, and they're working really well, and they work with our utility there. And the advantages are that it gives people in the marketplace an option or a choice on where they get their utilities from, and it's a local decision. We are simply changing it so that it is no longer as limited to contiguous county development and with counties that are 20,000 population or higher. I think that this just opens up opportunities within a community area so that they have the choice to build a community solar garden as well as to have subscribers to that garden.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this is about growing business. We have community solar garden companies in Colorado that want to grow, that want to hire new people, that want to increase construction in our state. And this is one way for them to do that. These solar garden companies right now are looking to hire in places like Texas and California. I want those jobs here in Colorado, and I urge a yes vote.
Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank the sponsors for the work that they've done on House Bill 1284. Members, this is really about the free market. This is about lifting an artificial boundary to allow consumers to purchase panels in a community solar garden across county lines. This is allowing community solar gardens to meet the demand that's currently in the marketplace. This is to allow innovation in our renewable energy space. And I believe that if we vote this bill out of second reading today, that we're really going to do a great service to the state of Colorado to promote renewable energy and to allow people who live in counties that don't have community solar gardens the opportunity to purchase those panels and start to exercise their right to get more renewable energy panels. So with that, I urge a yes vote, and I thank the sponsors for bringing this bill forward.
Representative Corum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let's just talk about adjoining counties. There's some of the problems because, I have these solar gardens in my community, and so the voters of the rural electric, which are not covered by PUC, rural electrics are not covered, but they voted for a solar farm, except it was one of those situations of not in my backyard. So they built it in the neighboring county where the neighboring county really didn't want it, but they didn't have the votes to stop it. So not everything is perfect.
Representative Rupe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That is a very good point. And during testimony, we did not hear any of the rural electric speaking out against this bill. And so if it was an issue, REA did? Sorry. I take that back. We had one or two. But the point here is that we took out the offending language that was in that bill so that it was more amiable to local control being able to decide if they're going to actually buy land use in a county or in a city decide that they're going to actually build one of these or allow one of these to be built. So members, I urge and I vote.
Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to say that this bill does not take away any local control from the siting of solar gardens. That is up to the local municipality and the local county. And the places that do have these solar gardens benefit both from the jobs and the property tax.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1284. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. HB 1284 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1090. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1097 until tomorrow, Tuesday, March 24th.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, House Bill 1097 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1220.
House Bill 1220 by Representatives Danielson and Ryden, also Senator Cook, concerning response to sexual assault on campuses of Colorado's institutions of higher education.
Representative Danielson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the House Bill 1220 and the committee report for Public Health and Human Services.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Basically, in the committee report, or in the committee, we passed the bill with a fairly significant strike below amendment that was adopted by the committee. It just lowered the projected fiscal note and made some changes that the universities had requested, and so we were able to accommodate those, and that's about the bulk of it.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Health and Human Services Committee report. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The Health and Human Services Committee report passes. Representative Danielson, to the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to urge support for House Bill 1220 with Representative Ryden. We've put together a bill that puts a basic protocol in place on every single public campus across the state as far as a basic minimum of services that must be provided to students following sexual assault. This basically includes training on campuses, information to the students about what their options are, and information about how to access those options. And so with that, I would urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1220. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. House Bill 1220 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1280.
House Bill 1280 by Representative Young, also Senator Grantham, concerning the creation of a capital reserve and certain cash funds.
Mr. Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1280 and the Appropriations Committee report.
To the Appropriations Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We just made some changes to exempt a couple of additional cash funds and change some dates. And with that, I ask for your aye vote on the Appropriations Committee report.
Excuse me, sorry. Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The Appropriations Committee report passes. To the bill, Mr. Young, Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a joint budget committee bill. We're attempting to address a bigger issue on the way we fund maintenance projects. This bill doesn't do the entire part of that, but it is a piece of that job that we're trying to accomplish to make sure that we fund repair and replacement of our capital assets. I ask for your aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And it's not only a JBC bill, it's a Capital Development Committee bill. This bill is a good start towards something that I have had criticism of state government in the past about, and I know a lot of you have too, and that is that we don't put away some money for taking care of maintenance and those kinds of things. This bill is a good start toward doing things like that, so I would encourage an aye vote on this bill.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1280. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. House Bill 1280 passes. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 106 until tomorrow, Tuesday, March 24th.
Are there any objections? Seeing none, Senate Bill, which number was it? 106 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 186.
Senate
186. Sorry.
Senate Bill 186 by Senator Woods, also Representatives Dorr and Garnett, concerning the exemption of yoga teacher training from regulation under statutes governing private occupational education in connection with reducing an appropriation.
Representative Dorr.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would move Senate Bill 186 and the committee report from Appropriations.
To the Appropriations Committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Amendment was a fairly simple. It was an inserting a for, after the for, inserting a use by, just a technical change because the Senate didn't do that before it came to the House. So.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The Appropriations Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I want to thank Representative Dorr. It's been a pleasure working with him on this bill. Members, the bill before you today was brought forward by a number of members of my community who run yoga teacher training schools and received letters in the mail from the Division of Private Occupational Schools asking them to be regulated. They have since really generated a grassroots movement that's spread across the state where they have peacefully protested. They have sent letters to many of you. They have organized on social media, and they have really brought to our attention that these small, primarily women-owned businesses should not fall under the regulatory structure of the DPOS. And after a long conversation with many of them, Representative Dorr and I decided to work with our Senate colleagues and bring this bill forward. And what it does is it just exempts yoga teacher trainers from a one-size-fits-all regulatory structure where since the inception of teacher training schools, there's never been a consumer complaint brought forward to the DPOS. And this was a move that was really prompted by one letter that came out of a yoga teacher training school that had voluntarily moved forward on the certification process. So again, this is a way for the body to protect small businesses from a one-size-fits-all regulatory approach and make sure that we aren't going to shutter the doors of many of these small businesses across our community. And so I would urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 186. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 186 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 187.
Senate Bill 187 by Senator Grantham, also Representative Young, concerning authorization for the High Performance Transportation Enterprise to deposit money received as loan from the State Highway Fund to a separate account with the Statewide Transportation Enterprise Special Revenue Fund.
Thank you. Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 187. There are no committee reports.
To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 187 is another JBC bill. It allows for the efficient flow of money back and forth between the State Highway Fund and the High Performance Transportation Enterprise. I ask for your aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 187. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 187 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 188.
Senate Bill 188 by Senator Stebbins also represents Rankin concerning the use of the first tier of statutory allocated tobacco litigation settlement money in connection with making an annual statutory allocation of such money to the tobacco settlement defense account of the tobacco litigation settlement cash fund and making an offsetting reduction in the annual statutory allocation of such money to the Children's Basic Health Plan Trust, authorizing the Department of Revenue to use money in the tobacco settlement defense account for settlement enforcement related activities and making an appropriation.
Nice job, Mr. Kohler. Representative Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 15188.
Are there any committee reports? No. To the bill.
Thank you. This bill is a JBC bill, and what it does is there was never any money really set aside for the tobacco litigation settlement cash fund, which is the money used to engage in discussions and disputes over tobacco litigation. What this bill does is and so there was a 4-year allocation to do that, or appropriation. This bill makes that permanent going forward. It takes about 2% out of the CHIP program that for the tobacco settlement money went to, but that cash fund for that program was underspending, and so this has no impact on that program. So what we're basically doing is permanently funding the tobacco litigation fund.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 188. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 188 passes. That was it? Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 189.
Senate Bill 189 by Senator Stebbins also represents Rankin concerning the repeal of consolidated tobacco settlement program monitoring and reporting requirements in connection with reducing an appropriation.
Representative Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 15189.
To the bill.
Okay, this bill is also tobacco settlement cash fund. Basically, it eliminates a report that went to Human Services.
Representative Rankin, I'm told there is a committee report to this.
And Madam Chair, excuse me, I move the Appropriations Committee report.
To the committee report.
The committee report just clarified a new line item that for the bill, or reduced the line item, excuse me.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The Appropriations Committee report passes. To the bill, Representative Rankin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So there was a report that Department of Public Health and Environment had to look at every year, although they had absolutely no control over these 6 programs in 6 different departments. So what we're doing with this bill is we're eliminating that report. The last version of that report suggested that there not ever be another report. So we're eliminating that report, and we're putting out what's called a request for information from the JBC for these 6 tobacco settlement programs. So in fact, the JBC will oversee those programs going forward.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I have to come down and support this bill. It saves $25,000. And any time that we can save $25,000, we need to save $25,000. It does away with a report that is worthless. And I think that we need to be looking for more of these places. We've got money that we need to spend in K-12 education and in highways. And there's a lot of waste, I think, in state government. We need to look for more of these places to save money, and so this is a good bill.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Rankin.
Thank you, Representative Brown. I can assure you the JBC will be diligent in looking for unnecessary reports. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 189. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 189 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 190.
Senate Bill 190 by Senator Grantham, also Representative Hamner, concerning the repeal of the requirement the Executive Director of the Department of Personnel promulgate rules to establish state archives fees.
Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 190.
Is there a committee report?
Thank you, Madam Chair. There are no committee reports.
Okay, thank you. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, Senate Bill 190 comes to you from your beloved Joint Budget Committee. Thank you. Yeah, we feel the love. But the bill eliminates the requirement that the Executive Director of the Department of Personnel promulgate rules to establish fees that State Archives charges for responding to requests for information and research. So without this requirement, the Executive Director may simply adjust the fees without using the rulemaking process. And colleagues, this is a very small department, and it doesn't seem appropriate to send to an official formal rulemaking process what the archives should charge for a copy. So I ask for your support of Senate Bill 190.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 190. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 190 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 15.
Senate Bill 15 by Senator Koufalos, also Representative Primavera, concerning clarification of benefits for autism spectrum disorders and health benefit plans issued in this state.
Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 1515, and there is no committee report.
To the bill.
Senate Bill 1515 actually passed out of the Senate on the consent calendar and had no opposition in committee. The incidence of autism spectrum disorder continues to rise. It's estimated to be, some estimates say 1 in 68 births. Some say 1 in 101 births. Autism spectrum disorder comprises a group of multiple complex disorders of brain development associated with intellectual disability and physical mental health issues. It's characterized by difficulties with social interaction, attention span, verbal and nonverbal communication, repetitive behaviors, motor coordination, and sensory integration. And it varies in degree. Usually signs of autism develop between 12 and 18 months, and research shows that early intervention significantly improves the severity of the disorder. So, since original autism legislation was passed in 2009, we've had some changes in laws. The mental health parity laws passed, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act passed, and now there's a need to clarify several things. So what this bill does is it broadens who can provide applied behavioral analysis. It clarifies that autism spectrum disorder is biologically based mental illness as defined in the DSM. And because of mental health parity, it removes the limit on coverage, and I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of Senate Bill 15. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Senate Bill 15 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1229.
House Bill 1229 by Representative McCann, also Senator Martinez-Humenick, concerning retaliation against a prosecutor.
I'm sorry, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, here's Representative McCann right now.
Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill, 1229 and the Judiciary Committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the committee, several questions.
Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Apparently, this bill needs to be referred to the Committee on Appropriations. And at the Judiciary Committee meeting, the motion was to refer it to the Committee of the Whole. So I guess we need to refer this to the Committee on Appropriations. So I withdraw my motion to pass House Bill 1229 and let's see what's just waiting. I will move to refer it to the Committee on Appropriations.
Is there any objection? Seeing none, House Bill 1229 is referred to the Committee on Appropriations. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 58. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over Senate Bill 58 until tomorrow, Tuesday, March 24th.
Seeing no objection, the Senate Bill 58 is laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
You've heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Kohler, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, Committee of the Whole begs leave to report in consideration of the following attached bills being second reading and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bills 1220 amended, 1280 amended, 1284 amended, passed on second reading in order and gross, placed on counter for third and final passage. Senate Bills 15, 186 amended, 187, 188, 189 amended, 190 passed on second reading in order and revised, placed on counter for third and final passage. House Bills 1097, Senate Bill 58, Senate Bill 106, laid over until March 24th, 2015, retaining its place on the calendar. House Bill 1229, referred to the Committee on Appropriations.
Representative Casey Becker. Did you make that motion? Everybody but me heard the motion. You have heard the motion that there are no amendments, and there are no amendments. The question before the House is the adoption of the report of the Committee of the Whole. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Escar and Representative Lantin. Close the machine. With 65 ayes and no noes, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Announcements and introductions. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the House Business Affairs and Labor Committee, we have 4 bills up tomorrow. We will also be adding House Bill 15-1253, so we will have 5 bills for tomorrow. Thank you.
Representative Kraft-Tharp.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, if we could just take a moment and congratulate Sylvie Lamontagne for being crowned the champion of the 75th Annual Colorado State Spelling Bee this weekend. She's not here, but she's listening. She's watching. She's at home. She got a great big dictionary as, you know, winning, and so she's at home studying to go to nationals, which we can all watch on TV and cheer for her. Thank you.
Representative Vigil.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the Agriculture, Livestock, and Natural Resources Committee, 1:30 today, 107. We have 1 bill, 15-1277. See you 1:30. Should be out. Should be quick, hopefully.
Representative Pedersen.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Education Committee. You know who you are. We are going to be meeting at 1:30 in room 271, so we will not be meeting in the basement.
Further announcements and introductions. Seeing none, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today at 1 p.m.
The motion is for the House to stand in recess until later today at 1 p.m. Seeing no objection, we are in recess until later today.